Over the last 25 years, I spent $2.5 million to reverse my age, and it's working. My biological age is somewhere in my mid-30s, and I lost over 100 pounds. I have the body of a really healthy man in his 20s. I'm 4.8% body fat, and I've never had a brain that works better. I believe everyone can reverse their age, and I want to show you how to do it. I've written a major New York Times bestselling book on aging called Superhuman, and hundreds of thousands of people have used my protocols to get younger. Aging is just a set of biological processes that you can slow down, and in some cases even reverse. To date, we have good records of people who've lived to 120 years old. Our current best is 122. My bet, and ideally yours, is that we can do at least 50% better over the next 100 years. This is possible through something called biohacking. And after spending all that money to hack my own biology, here are the most important lessons for you. Inflammation is at the root of all diseases and aging. And there isn't just one thing to make yourself younger. There are 7 pillars of aging that I wrote about in the book. Those are mutations in your mitochondria, shrinking tissues, zombie cells, cellular stiffening or straitjackets, extracellular junk, and buildup of junk inside your cells, and shortening of telomeres. Biohacking allows you to slow each one of those processes. Think of it if you had a car and saying, I want my car to last forever. I'm going to make sure to change my oil. But you never did anything else. Of course, it's not going to live forever. If you take care of these 7 things, you'll have a much better quality of life and you'll have more of it. When people say, I just want to extend my health span, they're weaseling out. You can be healthy for longer. That's your goal when you enter the realm of biohacking. The first thing you want to do is you want to eat higher healthy fat, low carb meals. And if you compare these high fat, low carb meals versus low fat, high carb, you're going to find that high carbohydrates are bad for you because having consistently high blood sugar creates inflammation. It creates inflammation because sugar in your body sticks to proteins in a process called advanced glycation end product formation, and that makes you age more quickly. Higher good fat is good for you because fats keep your glucose stable, they reduce cravings, and getting the right kind of fats is crucial. My favorite high-fat meal is grass-fed, grass-finished steak, and veggies with a lot of grass-fed butter. Why? Because I'm getting lots of good fat, and I'm getting lots of protein, and I have vegetables for fiber. Sometimes I'll also have rice because my body can handle some carbohydrates. That's because I've trained it to be metabolically flexible. Cycling carbs in and out and choosing the right kind of carbs, but not too many, keeps your gut bacteria happy. Long-term zero carbohydrate diets are probably not good for aging, but eating carbs all the time isn't good either. I prefer white rice, raw honey, and some fruit for the carbohydrates when I'm going to have them. I am not in ketosis all the time, but I am some of the time. The second thing you want to do if you want to live longer, this will actually save you money and time. It's called intermittent fasting. I wrote the first major book on intermittent fasting called The Bulletproof Diet, and almost 1 million people around the planet have read that book or my other book on fasting called Fast This Way. And there's so much science to support the fact that this is good for you. You don't want to overfast, but you also don't want to eat 3 or 6 meals every single day either. That's because if you eat many meals a day, your body doesn't burn fat well, and you're constantly spiking your glucose. Intermittent fasting is a better option because your body starts making a bunch of compounds that induce cellular cleanup. So you can get rid of these weak, old, dysfunctional cells, and you can make new, strong ones. The name for that process is autophagy. There are a ton of different ways you can fast. There's something called bulletproof intermittent fasting, and this is where you have coffee with grass-fed butter and MCT oil. I use my new coffee brand, Danger Coffee, when I do that because it has minerals in it. And when you do that during your fasting window, you still have energy from burning fat, but you have 0 cravings. And if you're new to fasting, or if you find that you just don't feel good when you fast, this is a way to kind of cheat. Because fats don't raise insulin, and they don't affect your fast. And if you go to fastwithdave.com, which has a bunch of free info on fasting, or you read my book, Fast This Way, you'll see how you can fast without ever being hungry. So it's not that big of a deal to have some Danger Coffee with butter and MCT in the morning instead of whatever you're going to eat. Do that 3 or 5 times a week, and magically, you've got the benefits of intermittent fasting. Another thing that's really important is use supplements that optimize your mitochondria. You can take things like PQQ or coenzyme Q10. You could also take supplements that are foundational for everything. These are things like vitamin Dake or Minerals 101. Go to vitamindake.com to get info on that. Or you can take something called urolithin A. You can boost your NAD. Bottom line, if you want to live longer than you're supposed to, you're going to need some supplements to do it. The fourth thing you want to do is reduce inflammation. That's because inflammation accelerates aging. It means your cells are dysfunctional. And the best way to reduce inflammation is to follow a diet that doesn't cause inflammation and to actively remove toxins from your environment, from your diet, and to just get enough high-quality sleep. My company, Upgrade Labs, now has locations where you can do all the things that affect aging because you really can change things. Red and infrared light therapy can be so potent for your body because your mitochondria love red light therapy. They have specific photoreceptors for red light on them. And that helps them to create more energy. It also means that your body will make more collagen, it'll heal faster, and your blood flow will improve. The most expensive and powerful red light therapy options are full body beds like we use at Upgrade Labs. The cheapest red light therapy options that also work are morning and evening sunlight, where that red color of sunrise and sunset is giving you more red light. That's real. You can also biohack your sleep. For me, this was the biggest challenge of all. It used to be that no matter how much I slept, I would get 5 minutes of deep sleep and 5 minutes of REM sleep, even though you want closer to 90 minutes of those. So I was the worst kind of sleeper. But studies show that the people who live the longest only get 6.5 hours of sleep. That's right, 8 hours, if that's what you need to recover, your odds of dying go up. What would happen if you were so healthy that your body only needed 6.5 hours of sleep and you woke up fully charged, ready to go without an alarm clock after 6.5 hours? You would have more life to live. You can hack your sleep with solutions like cooling your room off at night, or you could do my salad bowl trick, which is a really powerful hack. If you can't go to sleep or you can't stay asleep, try this. All you do is get a salad bowl, put some ice and some water in it, put it on the counter, take a deep breath, and bend forward and stick your face, all of your face, into the ice water. After 10 seconds, you're going to come up and say, "Dave Asprey's a jerk." That's all right. You just got cold, freezy face. Do it again anyway. And after 3 nights of doing this, you'll find that you can keep your face iced as long as you can hold your breath. And this trick works because it tones your vagus nerve, which is the nerve that regulates your nervous system balance from fight or flight versus rest and digest. If you want to know everything I know about sleep, you can go to my favorite website ever. It's sleepwithdave.com. See, you won't forget that URL. You could also do full-on cold therapy, which is great for longevity. Cold therapy can slow aging because it activates processes in your body that weed out weak cells, and that makes your body create new, more powerful cells. Think of it like having a weak battery or a dim bulb. If you get rid of that and put in a fully charged battery or a bulb that's fully bright, everything works better, and your body won't do that unless it gets a signal to do it. Cold therapy triggers thermogenesis, which is good because it helps your body burn fat. And I exercise 20 minutes a week using AI and Upgrade Lab stuff, but I have abs I didn't have when I was in my 20s. I had ripples back then. There are many ways you can do cold therapy. You can do an ice bath, you can do a cold shower, you could do the face thing, you do a cold plunge, and you could do a cryo chamber like the ones we do at Upgrade Labs, which gets your face really cold, which is beneficial. Cold therapy is good for you because it sends that powerful signal to your body that says, turn off inflammation, recover faster, get stronger, and how about having some endorphins so you feel good at the same time? My number one favorite way to do cold therapy is cryotherapy at Upgrade Labs because I'm standing in air colder than anywhere I could get on the planet. If I don't have access to an Upgrade Labs, I'll do a cold plunge like if I'm at my house. Those are things you can do right now, and we know that they work. You could also decide you want to measure how old you are. You can go to axo.health, axo.health, which is one of my companies, and our advanced longevity panel is something that will tell you how old your body is compared to everyone else, and it'll tell you your levels of important things you need to know, like thyroid, like your testosterone level, your inflammatory levels, your cortisol. This kind of stuff means that you can tell, how am I doing now? And what do I need to do in order to live longer? This is a major focus for me right now. because it's a lot easier to get younger if you know what to change first. I started this longevity journey over 2 decades ago. It has profoundly changed my life. It's changed my body. It's changed my brain. And millions of other lives have benefited from the things I've learned through suffering, making mistakes, and learning longevity from my elders. So the sooner you start on a longevity path, the sooner you'll feel the difference. And if you're in your 20s, longevity is very cheap, and it gives you power and energy now that make you stand out. And it means you'll spend a lot less money later in life because you'll just stay young.